Hello, fellow commanders. Welcome to my first episode of Xcom 2 multiplayer. In this series, I hope to explain my decision making in terms of in the Xcom 2 multiplayer games, and hopefully bring more attention to the community that there is a multiplayer. And even though most players only enjoy the single player, a small group of people actually like the multiplayer pretty well. And let's go into business. This time around, in the first episode, I'll be using my currently. I think this squad is currently my favorite squad because it is is very balanced against anything and everything. I think I can deal with most of the squads. I won't be seeing a bunch of things I cannot kill with this squad. It consists of two main units, which is Grenadier, which I give her a plasma grenade on top of the default normal grenade. And this is the main shredding unit, which she has two grenades. The plasma grenade shred for 2 and the normal grenade shred for 1, and her guns it can shred for 2 armors 2. And the other ability like saturation fire, I don't think is that good because it destroys cover, but when you're shooting let's just say it rarely have enough enemy in the clone shape for you to use the saturation fire to the most effect. Also, she has one. It appears to be 2, but in game there's only 1 armor, which enables her to tank maybe a small hit more than a normal unit. And the other one I make is Neil deGrasse Tyson, which I think because I think it's funny, so I thought he looks like Neil deGrasse Tyson in my single player campaign, which is randomly generating. So I named him this and save him into the character pool. And this is a Phantom Ranger who start in concealment with Phantom, and then if you survive the initial conflict, you can conceal again. And if you manage to kill some stuff with your rapid fire or rarely the sword, you can use Impeccable to run to a better position. And the deep cover, it rarely get used, and Shadow Strike is also insanely good because the shotgun hit accuracy fall off is not high enough. I think you can still get 100% with a fairly decent range with Shadow Strike, which also gave you 25 bonus crit, which basically means you are almost guaranteed to crit something that can be frag. And you really won't use the slash that much because it has a low damage and low hit chance, and it usually put yourself in danger. With that 2 main units in effect, I am also using other supporting units, which consists of Archon, which can use the pinions to scout because the blazing pinions allow you to move within your sight range and do the pinion without affecting by any terrains. You can fly to the 3rd floor and you do the blazing pinion, which normally requires you to dash and doesn't even get you that far. Also, the pinion doesn't trigger overwatch, so this is a very good scouting unit, and it has built-in dodge chance and defense. So, and it has a fairly good amount of health, so it can be killed easily. And if the enemy damage him and without managing to kill him, you can have 3 actions, which basically means you can flank anybody and everybody, which is a very strong ability, which I think the Archon is a little bit cheap for the cost. Together with the Elite Officer, which I think they mistakenly put in the Elite Officer, which has 12 health for the cost of 400, which is insanely good, because you can survive most of the units crit, except maybe Andromedon and I think Septicon. For other units, you can survive a crit. You need at least 2 attacks to kill, and on top of that, you have a mark target, which doesn't end your turn, by the way, and a grenade, so you can mark your target, throw a grenade. And it also have a shield bearer who can shield everybody. It basically gives everybody 3 health, and also a stun lancer. And I am assuming they will nerf the officer or make it back to a normal officer instead of an elite officer. So this squad I put in a stun lancer instead of 2 officer, which you can always switch it for officer at the time being, because right now officer is just way too good for the cost of 400, which basically means, yeah, the stun lancer, yeah, don't rely on the stun lancer to actually stun. It basically never happens. If it happens, you are being very, very lucky. You are lucky enough to even land a hit. It's only 65 for most units to hit you with your stunning blade, and you only have 6 health. So yep, yeah, this is a reasonable stat for a 400 unit. So that is basically it. And let's see how well we do with this squad. The opponent of this episode will be FireWaterGasoline, who is a very long-term player of Xcom 1 multiplayer, and a very good player, because, yeah, you know, there's not much people actually play Xcom multiplayer, and this time around in Xcom 2 it is pretty hard to find games. So yep, he is a pretty good player, and see how things goes. Okay, now we are in the game. So I get the first turn. It seems to be random, or about who is getting the first move. In XCOM 1, it depends on which side have a lower point for the first turn, but in XCOM 2 it seems to be entirely random as far as I notice. So if you are having the first turn, it is always safe to dash, even if you move all your guys into the open, because you will never spawn close enough for the enemy to be able to attack you on the first turn. So if you are on the first turn, it is always a good idea to dash all your units as far as you can to gain as much control of the map as possible, because if you cover a larger area of the map, you have more options. You can have more places to fall back into, and if you are camping at the main reason why camping the spawn is a very bad idea is because it limits your options when your enemy pushes you back into a corner. You can never fall back and reload or something like that. You are forced to fight. And yeah, now we are in our second turn, so I already hear the footstep is pretty close, and so I use the shield bearer to shield everybody. And in my original plan, I thought I can get on the roof with the Archon on the second turn, but it turns out, yeah. Later I learned that Archons and Gatekeepers actually spend a crap load of actions to travel upwards. Unlike in XCOM 1, the floaters in Cyberdisk actually you can just fly up in the sky easily.
Okay.
But in XCOM 2, it actually count the vertical distance, and because I hear an Andromedon, actually I already hear his Andromedon as soon as he move it, because clearly it is very loud, and so I hear it, and I hear it activate. That means it sees my Archon, but for some reason my Archon cannot see it. So that's why I chuck a better scanner on top of the building, because I assume people would like to go to the rooftop for better positioning for the +20 aim. And so I chuck a battle scanner, and then I move the guys to position and see if I can actually see the Andromedon, but it turns out only the stun lancer was able to see it, and I have a very crappy chance to hit, so I instead overwatch my guy, and my officer, I was spending too much time, and my officer wasn't managed to make a move. If I managed able to move my officer, it actually would give me a huge advantage next turn, because I can mark and then nade, or mark and then shoot, which is mark is really a very good ability because it only uses one action. If you are in a very good position, you can just mark and then shoot with everyone else. It's like a free hollow target, which is nice. It seems the audio is too loud. Okay, now that's better. And yep, it is reasonable for him to move up the expandable target that die in one shot anyway, because the trooper only has 3 health. And but what would be better for him to do is mark with the officer before you make any kind of shooting, and because he want to kill my Archon, and so he have to use a nade, because otherwise he will not be able to see me. And the exit bomb is actually pretty nice for the Archon, because it does, as you can see, it already does 7 damage on impact, and then the exit burn will do another 4 or 5 at the end of my turn. And but anyway, the trooper hit without the mark anyway, and he used 1 grenade, and at the time I'm playing the game, I did not know if the exit bomb is a one-time thing like the grenade, or on a cooldown. Later in the game, I asked him about it, and he is kind enough to explain that it's on a cooldown instead of a one-time thing. So after all that suffering, the Archon finally get killed by another Andromedon, apparently. And I am not sure if Archon is having shorter sight distance or what, but again, my Archon cannot see the other Andromedon, because apparently I see it for a split second, but then I'm not able to see that again. And right now I'm seeing about the stun answer. I think the stun answer is not that good because the stun chance is very low. It rarely actually stuns. If you manage to stun, you're only being lucky instead of like outplaying your enemy. And it's like, and because I know he has 2 Andromedons, so what I'm trying to do now is try to shred as many armor as I can before my Grenadier dies. Because my Ranger is in concealment, and I plan to find a good opportunity to double shoot, hopefully killing the Andromedon. And so I try to shred as much armor as possible before my Grenadier dies. And here I use the Stun Lancer to just try to hopefully disorient or stun the Andromedon. But I'm not sure if you can actually do it with the Lancer because, well, the stun chance on normal humans is low enough. And with the tough armor, I'm not sure if you can do it. And the shield bearer is luckily getting a crit, which is like, I think it's 30% or 40%, because they lower the crit chance on multiplayer. And so I moved the Ranger into a better concealing position, and hopefully can flank and rapid fire the other Andromedon, hopefully killing it, because the Concealment Ranger have the, I think the ability is called Shadow Strike, where you get 25 aim and 25 crit on Concealment Strike. So if you can rapid fire with that, it is a very high chance that I can kill the Andromedon outright. But here I actually make a slight mistake next turn, because I'm still using the single player mindset, and also I'm not too used to the multiplayer. This is like my 3rd game, I think, and because the connection is pretty horrible, so I don't manage to actually do too much of the too much meaningful multiplayer at that point. So yeah, and the other Andromedon is using the taking an Overwatch shot and using the exit bomb on 2 of my units, and yeah, the officer is only cost 400 points, and for some reason they have 12 health. What I think the problem is that they use the elite officer for it should be a normal officer. They should not have that much health for the cost of 400. I think they used the elite officer. They didn't put the heavy mech, the elite lancer, and elite shield bearer, and elite trooper to the multiplayer. So I think they was planning to only have the basic units, just like they did not give the Xcom soldiers the plasma weapons. I suppose because in Xcom 1, plasma weapons just basically one-shot every single unit in the game. I think they don't want to be that, but then they just make a mistake and make the officer elite officers. which makes them insanely good for 400 health, 400 points with 12 health is ridiculous. And here he used his remaining grenade on my stun lancer, which is my plan. Why I put the stun lancer forward, because I want him to waste his effort to kill him. He either fall back his officers to deal with the lancer, or he grenade and then shoot with the other officer. So his grenade will not be used on my units to destroy covers. And right here, I'm using the grenadier, and I'm seriously considering that if I should focus down one of the Andromedon first, or start working on the basically full health Andromedon. And I decided that even if I kill one of them, I can't really deal with the full armor Andromedon unless I get a really good camping shot on with the Ranger. So I decided to grenade the other Andromedon. And because I have enough health to survive another turn of acid burn, so I instead mark and then shoot with the officer instead of moving the officer, because he's only a 400 unit and he is expandable at this point. I want to do as much damage as possible before I do anything else. And here is what I'm talking about, my mistake. I should just grenade and then just shadow strike, rapid fire the Andromedon. I should have 100% hit chance and like 70 to 80 crit chance with the Ranger, because the shadow strike is really strong with 25 aim and 25 crit. But instead I basically waste the shot on with the officer and the shield bearer. I should mark and then rapid fire. It will I think it's a sure kill unless both shot doesn't crit, which is extremely unlikely. And this is another mistake I make. I should not run him to the same cover as my grenadier, but by that time I did not know. Yeah, I should know, but I did not think he can actually just run past my cover, because I think my diagonal placed soldiers can block his movement. I don't think he can path in between my units. But then later, but good thing that FWG himself make a mistake too by moving the Andromedon shell last. So if he moved the Andromedon first to destroy my cover, it's very likely that my grenadier will die and take some damage, at least some damage on my Ranger. And that's why I should be running towards the left hand side instead of running towards my grenadier when I get the impeccable bonus for the extra move. So the best case scenario, he killed my grenadier, because she is always the focus. Or maybe he would decide to try and kill my Ranger first, but then the grenadier still have the ability to kill the other Andromedon, because they don't really have the cover they don't have the cover to shoot my Ranger if I run to the left hand side, because the grenade earlier destroyed it, and the Andromedon himself and the grenade from my grenadier basically make an empty area around the Andromedon shell. So if they want to kill my ranger, they cannot use cover. And if they kill my grenadier, my ranger can enter concealment again. And both ways I'm in a fairly good advantage. But if I move both of them together and he didn't make the mistake of moving the shell last, I am in a really huge trouble. And here for, yeah, like I said, if it is trauma cover and with the mark, I am at least one of my guys will be dead. And, but yeah, like I said, the game is still very new, and everybody is still kind of learning the game, and we don't even have that much chance to learn because it is very hard to find a game. There's like 99% people only play single player, but people like me or FWG, we enjoy multiplayer because yeah, we just like playing as alien maybe, but we enjoy. So I'm not really asking for much. I am just hoping that they make multiplayer playable because as you can see, I speed up the waiting time. It actually costs like 5 minutes per turn after our moves. After I finish our move, it takes 5 minutes for the commands to send to the opponent, and then they can see our moves, which is really bad. This game actually costs more than an hour. Yeah, like I said, if he used this move first, then I'm in huge trouble because the Andromedon will have a very high chance to one-shot my grenadier if he crits, and then the officer could hurt really bad, could hurt my ranger really bad, but then he also make a mistake, luckily for me. So both of my soldiers survive, and I'm here. I'm thinking about getting a good cover, and then I thought I can move past the bench without taking the acid damage, but turns out I have to take acid burn if I want to move the grenadier to a better cover against the officers.
Now you see me?
Yeah, so I run away my ranger and
Good copy. Moving on target.
again. But he can obviously tile scan me out because you cannot move to the tile with a unit in it. So even if he can see my ranger, he can tile scan just like in the first game to find my ranger. But he already used all his grenades, so he cannot destroy my covers. And so, because I think my grenadier is dead anyway if I cannot kill the Andromedon, so I just move and hopefully kill the Andromedon outright. The Andromedon shell can only I think have a 50% chance hitting the melee attack. Even with mark, it's like 65%, which I have a pretty decent chance to dodge that. Bad thing I missed the second shot, and so I need to use the officer to kill the Andromedon. And here I only have 4 seconds left. I should try to target the close Andromedon for a better chance, but I don't want to miss my shot. Miss the opportunity to actually take the shot, so I just spam 1 on my keyboard. but turns out the game decided to target the further one. So, but that's fine because right now I am in a huge advantage because he has no grenades, no acid bombs, and my ranger can rapid fire basically kill any of his units in one go. So I'm in a huge advantage because the shells, the Andromeda shells, cannot chase down my ranger if I dash away. And if I get because I'm still in concealment, I can always ambush his officers. As soon as I kill his officers, I cannot lose to the shells because if he get close, I rapid fire, I kill it. If they are far away, I can still take like 30, 40, 50% shots against them, and the best they can do is run at me, and they cannot actually attack, and then next turn I can dash away again. Not to mention I'm at full health, and they can never one-shot me with one hit. They need at least 2 hits. So after I kill both of the Andromedon, I'm in a very, very good position. Not to mention I still have at least 2 units after his turn, because the best he can do is kill one of them. And here he get a crit, but it doesn't really matter. It's 2 hits from the officer or from the Andromedon or both. It's 2 hits to kill my grenadier, and I can survive a punch or a shot from him with my ranger. So like I said, I'm in a huge advantage. And right here I get a pretty lucky dodge. And if both of my advent guys survive this, I'm with a pretty decent advantage to heavily damage at least one of the shell, because I can just run up the pipes, and so the officers will not have line of sight of me, and I can shoot at the Andromedon shells. And right here I try to move diagonally to avoid the exit, but it seems it still counts as having exit burn, so I try to path away from it to get a better angle. But then turns out here seems to be the pathing bug where if you dash within your bull move, it counts as a bull move. For some reason, it also works on single player, and I didn't realize that. I thought it was a bull move, and later when I actually looked at the footage, I realized that the officer is actually taking advantage of the bug. And then again, it doesn't actually matter. Even if I only take one shot, I can bring the Andromedon shell down to a 2-shot range from my FN troops. And both of the shells is always in range of my rapid fire kill range. The rapid fire will always kill them unless I'm super far away, and they need to get close. So yeah, the shells will always be within my rapid fire range. So even if I did not make use of the officer, I still cannot lose. And all I need to do now is kill the officers. As soon as I kill the officers, without taking a hit with my ranger, I win 100%. And when I'm playing this match, I only run into my first Andromedon in a single player campaign, so I don't really know if
Good
they can
copy,
climb
moving on
or
target.
jump. I'm just hoping they cannot jump. Yeah, because they are only a dead shell. I don't think they can jump, but I'm not sure if they can climb. But like I think every unit in the game can climb. So, but it doesn't make sense to me that a dead shell can still climb. It doesn't, because they look dead. They look like zombies. But then again, zombies can climb too. Yeah, it is a funny process to learn about the new mechanics. And with the impeccable, I can just shoot the. Yeah, like I said, I can lose because as soon as I kill one unit, I can have another move. I can run away from the Andromeda shells. So yeah, I basically can lose now because I still have one grenade. And one of the shells only have 2 health. As soon as my officer can see the 2 health shell, I can grenade it and kill it. With 1 shell and 1 officer, he really can't win against my ranger, and yeah. So right now, I basically already win the match when I managed to get one of the shell down to a grenade range while still having 1 grenade. And this is why I think they will make the officer become the normal officer instead of the elite officer if they decide to give a damn about multiplayer. Which, yeah, I understand that single player is the focus, but I'm really not asking for much here. I only ask for multiplayer to be playable. They fix the connection bug in Enemy Within, and that's why I don't understand why they can screw up the connection again in Xcom 2. All they need to do is copy the system over. I I don't need. I'm not. Yeah, I really think I am not asking for much here. Just make it playable. They fix the bug in Enemy Within. Why? Yeah, just fix the connection. You're good to go. It, after you done with the single player, after you are long spend all your time done with the single player, and then you can adjust the multiplayer. But my personal guess is that next patch they will just make the elite officer become normal officers and be done with it, and hopefully fix the connection. But I am okay with that. I'm totally okay with that as soon as they fix the connection. I am okay with that. Even with the huge imbalance in XCOM 1 multiplayer, I still have like 3,000 matches. I think around 2,000 of them are in ranking, and 1,000 of them are about 1,000 is in a custom match. I enjoy the multiplayer, and yeah. So, yep. Right now, yeah, basically I can't lose as long as I block the pipes and prevent him from getting up. And because I'm out of bullets, I will have to block, continue to block the ladders and reload. Because he could be at the far, he could run the other Andromedon to the other side. He could be like near the pipe, ready to climb up next turn. But I don't think I'm in his attack range. But
Moving out.
I intentionally triggered Overwatch, which I don't know why. I didn't really. Yeah, by that time I was thinking about moving the shield bearer down to flank the officer, But after I moved to Ranger, I realized I can't kill it, so why
Moving
would
to
I move
designated
that?
coordinates.
If I move down to Shilbera, the Andromedon could very likely to kill me. So, and I cannot kill his officer, so there is no reason to really go down to flank him. Yep, yeah. At the at the beginning of the match, I thought my Archon would be doing most of the work, while my Ranger is in concealment, ready to strike. But turns out he just died on the first turn when he's visible to him, which yeah, is a little bit bad. But luckily, I guess a few critical, and both of us make some tiny mistakes. So here we have the game. Yep, and I believe not long after this, he surrendered. And yeah, because we both know we should not wasting too much time. He has a chance to win, but very unlikely because, like I said, I still have a grenade, 3 units, and one of them can one shot his unit as soon as they get in range. So, yep, I am very unlikely to lose this match, and both of us don't really think we can afford to waste too much time because the connection is really horrible. Like I'm speeding up, and this is still like 36 minutes, I think. This match, and the full match with in the waiting time is like an hour. Then you're just sitting at your screen watching the opponent's turn timer turn to zero and wait for 5 minutes per turn without able to doing anything or see any movements. That is boring. So yeah, the only thing I really ask is just copy the enemy within system and fix the connection. Everything else can wait. Just make the multiplayer playable. Is all I'm asking. Yeah, I don't really think there's too much else happening here. It doesn't really matter because, like I said, he do not have a very good chance of meleeing with the Dromedons, and as soon as he's visible, I double shoot him. Yeah, that's basically it. The match is basically decided. And even though with the horrible connection, I still enjoy playing with him more than random people because not much people actually play multiplayer, and most of them doesn't know what to do in multiplayer. And FWG is a very good player in Xcom 1, and he is at least we both of us know what to what the main objectives are. So we will not do stupid moves like move into the open with the cover and take a 30 or 40% shot for no reason. And yeah, even though despite the horrible connection, I still enjoy playing with him. And I hope they fix the connection, and I hope more and more people will play multiplayer. So this wrap up my first episode of XCOM 2 multiplayer. And thanks for joining. And Hope to see you in the battlefield.